The Legacy Project, the man, the myth, the musician, chronicles the extraordinary musical journey of Mr. Leon C. Lewis, a gifted musician, visionary, mentor, and cultural treasure whose sound has left an indelible mark on every space he has touched. This powerful documentary takes audiences beyond the music and into the heart of the man behind the melodies. From humble beginnings to becoming a respected and influential force in the music community, Mr. Lewis's story is one of passion, perseverance, faith, and purpose. Through personal reflections, rare footage, and heartfelt testimonials, the Legacy Project celebrates not only his artistry and musical excellence, but also his impact as a teacher, leader, and inspiration to generations of musicians. His journey embodies dedication to craft, commitment to community, and an unwavering love for music that transcends time. The man, the myth, the musician, a legacy not only heard, but felt.
I believe in the Father and in the Son. I believe in the Spirit. All three are one. I believe in the cross and the blood that was shed. I believe on the third day he rose from the grave. I believe, oh, I believe.
I've shared earlier in the previous segment about my upbringing and my family life and how I would say until this day I had one of the best childhoods ever, literally. But as an adult and creating my own family, privileged to be married to the wonderful Valencia Lewis. And we met I saw her for the first time, New Year's Eve night, 94, going into 1995, right? And it was at New Year's Eve service. And I was coming in to the church I was playing for at the time. And she was in the audience, just sitting in the back, maybe about 10, 15 rows back. And when I saw her, I made a very selfish statement. She was so beautiful, I said to myself, she looks like she belongs to me. I just said to myself, thinking nothing of it. Lo and behold, about a month later, we're in January now, I see her, she's at the church, and she's talking to a friend of hers who happens to sing in the choir. So I said, oh, that's the young lady I saw at the New Year's Eve service. And so I make my way over to her friend and I, whose name is Donna. We knew each other because Donna sang in the choir. So I make my way over to where they were talking, and I proceeded to talk to my friend, which is her friend, also Donna. And of course, Valencia was offended that I butted into her conversation. I'll share more about that later. But her reaction wasn't favorable at the time with me butting in the conversation. But long story short, it so happened that maybe a little while after that, not long after that, Valencia ended up joining the church and ended up joining the choir. And from there, our relationship started, and the rest is history. That's been almost 31 years ago now. So we've been married for 26 of those years. And it's just been a wonderful blessing and a great journey. So I'm saying that to say, having family support is very important all throughout this music ministry journey. Even when Elvin and I decided to start the production company, and I became a songwriter, all those kind of things, she was there even before we got married, and has been very supportive. So the support of family has always been important in this life of work and ministry. And as we had a chance to grow as a couple, of course, we have our children that we brought into the fold as well. Prior to being married to Valencia Lewis, I already had a son, and he goes by the name of Jordan O'Neal. Tall, dark, and handsome, just like his dad. And he's just a joy. And what a blessing he is to me. So he's the senior statesman of all the Lewis children. So in order, that would be Jordan O'Neal, then Christina Noel, then Victoria Nicole, then we have Alexandra Nichelle, Xavier Neal, and Christian Noel. I'm proud to say that all of our children, they love the Lord. They are active in ministry, and they have a great reverence and respect for what I do in ministry. Sometimes they don't like it because it takes me away through my travels and time at home, those kind of things. But they definitely understand that that's a part of our lives. And I'm grateful that from Valencia to the children, they all accept and support me in this ministry work.
There were so many things. I would definitely say one, you could see his love for God. I mean, it oozes from him. That was one of the first things that was attractive, if you will, for me. The second thing was I love music, and then just his love for music. And then the third thing is he reminded me so much of my own dad. Literally so many of the qualities that Leon has, my dad also had. And so I would definitely say those were the three biggest things that drew me to Leon.
I feel like I've inherited, obviously, what people expect, which would be the musicality. I got songwriting from him. I like to think, my mom is funny, but I like to think I got my sense of humor from him too, or at least the way I like to carry on. I also feel like I got, this may not be maybe not the best trait, but how easily like things may like bother me, and when they do. So my mom says that we have the same face when we both get irritated, so we'll both like buck our eyes like this. But I think I've also inherited his love for family and being around people. He may not show it, but he does like to be up under his family a lot. He likes us to have a lot of family time. He likes movie nights and things like that. So I think I get that from him, and also my ability to replay one part of a song 1,000 times.
I will say traits that I've inherited from my dad. I would say one of the most, I guess, niche ones are my ability to hear like little things in music. I really like listening to that, and kind of like she said, playing things back 1,000 times to make sure I heard what I heard. I love doing that. I will say his sense of humor as well. We definitely have the same joking style. I also inherited from him the ability to stand up for myself. I definitely, like things a certain way. I like things in my order. I like things in my place, and I don't play any games. Like he doesn't play any games. I think, like she said again, his love for family, because he definitely loves, couch time, family time, car rides, picking us up, whenever we were in high school, and even Alexandria, being in high school. So I think the family aspect is another one, and cooking. I love to cook.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I love to cook.
A few traits I think I've inherited from my dad are probably his wit and his like quick comebacks to any situation. Another thing I've inherited is like his like natural like street smarts to just know. I'm sorry. Just like how he moves about places. I might not be always the most vigilant, but I think I know my way around some places. Also, as my sister said, like a love for music, just having a song and replaying it all the time, or listening to certain parts of like music. I think I got that pretty well too.
Again, I mentioned in the earlier segment that my family was very musical. All of them can sing except me. I'm one of the few that can't sing in the entire family. But I was able to play an instrument. I think I may have shared back in the day when the Stars of Heaven, playing the guitar. I used to probably play air guitar. So my musical journey in terms of instruments were, I think I started with drums, and I went to play guitar, then saxophone, and piano came later. So that musical lineage and legacy has even translated. I happened to marry a beautiful young lady, Valencia, who is a classically trained pianist, even though she doesn't do it as much now, but she used to play piano as well. So of course that has trickled down to our children. And I think the girls for sure have a part of my personality in some way, shape, or form. So musically, I would say Christina, she enjoys singing, she loves singing, and she has that musical side. Victoria, while she sings as well, she's more of the worshiper of the three of them. And then Alexandria, she can sing as well. I wish I could let you hear them sing like when they're around the house, doing like their three-part harmony. So all of them have the gift to sing in some capacity. But to Alexandria, she's more heady, if you will, right? So she's very, very smart, very brilliant, as they all are. But her bent when it comes to ministry and worship is just that of, praise dancing and being more in that realm on the fine art side of ministry. So I'm grateful to have that aspect of who I am trickle down into the lives of my children as well.
Leon's dedication, his tenacity, and his creativity, and then just the stick to it. He just those things for sure. But I will tell you that going back to the creative side, I remember when we first got married, Leon had a pencil and a pad in every single room. Every single room. And so it was always interesting to see when he would get a download, if you will, from the Lord, and start writing.
What I used to do when I was younger, for a lot of the songs that people hear, he used to have me demo them because he always says he's not a singer. I think he can sing, but he says he's not a singer. So he would have me demo them, and then he would give it to the other people. So this time I was there and he just asked me to demo, and actually we hadn't done that in a while. And he asked me to demo it, and at first it was going to be for somebody else, and everybody was like, oh my goodness, I think Christina should sing the song. So the fact that it came about that way, and then he did come to me with the song, that was amazing, because I know he's very serious about music. He's very serious about his music representing God and the difference between performing and ministering, and we were supposed to minister. So seeing it, especially now that I'm older, in a different light, and then having him there like to support me physically, it was a different experience, because not only was he my director, and I feel like people, get that supportive vibe from him, but as a dad, I could just see that he was proud of me, and that made me go on, because I was super nervous, and I was like, I just don't want to mess up, and I don't want to embarrass anybody or make anybody feel bad, and I could just, he was like feeding me all his energy, and it felt great. I really can't describe it. I wish I could go over and do it a million times.
I feel like I am never too scared, if you will, to like walk down to the altar and really get like what I need personally, and I love that. So there was one time, maybe actually it was right after he came back from having his second brain surgery, his first Sunday back, and they did one name, of course, and it broke into like a one name praise break extravaganza. And he started walking out to the stage to direct the praise break, and I was just like, I had to walk with my dad, so I ended up walking with him, and he saw me on the stairs and he started getting teary-eyed, and I was like, oof, well, now I'm getting teary-eyed. So I think that is definitely one of the main ones. And then more recently, it was about a month and a half ago, I was back home from college, and another great service at Wheeler SAR, always, and the Spirit just like came down and just tore up the place. So that was another Sunday where I walked down to the altar, but because the altar was already so full, I just found myself next to his chair, and I was just, getting my Holy Ghost, and I was weeping kind of by his chair, and he just put his hand on my head and started praying for me, and that was like, that just sent me into a whole other realm of like, I'm grateful for my dad, I'm grateful for this moment, and I even started praying back for him, because, that's my dad. So
I'll have to agree with Victoria. Every time he's had a health challenge that's significantly like heavy on him. And I always just see him come back just so strong and confident that it just makes me proud to see him like thriving despite what he's been through. Yes. And then intimate moments, definitely in the car. He always has his playlist going. So just watching him and being with him while we're in the car, just listening to music, stuff he likes, I feel like it brings me closer to him. Get a little inside scoop of how he feels. I like seeing him connect with the music he's listening to in the car.
Ministry overall is not without its challenges, but so does challenges come with life as well. So I had one of those life challenges in 2017. It was in January, at the end of January in 2017. I was at home on a Saturday, just enjoying myself, enjoying Valencia. We enjoying each other, and we enjoying just life in general. And on that fateful Saturday morning, if I recall correctly, I blacked out, passed out, uh, came to. Valencia asked me, was I okay? I said, yeah. I remember blacking out again. And the second time I came to, I remember having this severe, excruciating headache to the point where I recall just almost being in this kind of severe pain I've never felt before and didn't understand what was going on, what was happening. And the pain, it was so bad until I ended up passing out again. But the next time I came to, it was almost a week later because I was in the hospital after suffering an aneurysm. Didn't know what was going on at the time, but of course it was a very, very, very touch and go situation for a while because with brain injuries, you never know, what can come of that. And I'm blessed to say I'm one of the ones that survived an aneurysm, right? So not only did I have an aneurysm that burst, but upon further investigation, being in the hospital, I actually had two aneurysms, one that burst and one that still remained. So after coming through the surgery to repair the bleeding on the brain and that kind of thing, the concern was for the second aneurysm, how we're going to treat it. So I had to have this procedure called gamma knife. There's no knives involved, but it's actually a radiation treatment and to kind of dissolve what was at the time the second brain, the second aneurysm that had not burst. So we go through that procedure, and the doctor said it's a one-time radiation treatment, but it could take up to 2 years to dissolve, if it were to dissolve at all. So during that process, so I had the aneurysm in January, had the gamma knife surgery sometime shortly thereafter. So long story short, it's April of the following year. Now mind you, the doctor said it could take up to 2 years for the second aneurysm to dissolve, if it were to dissolve. April of 2018, I got the best news that anybody could receive. I went I had to have an MRI every 6 months or so. So the MRI that I had in 2018 got called into the doctor's office, and basically she didn't say it was a miracle. She just said that my brain was beautiful because there was no trace of the second aneurysm. There was no artifact, not even on the digital scan, on the MRI for a CT scan. I think I took another scan just to be sure it wasn't there. Nothing was there. So I would qualify that and as a miracle. So you're looking at a living, breathing, walking, talking miracle as I sit here and give this interview. But again, that's one miracle. So fast forward to, about maybe 6 years later in 2023, I'm getting ready for one of our Wednesdays in the Word. I'll never forget it. It was October 4th. It was the first Wednesday in the Word series of our fall installment of that time. And I'm getting ready for church, and I'm trying to put on my shirt, and my hands would not move correctly to button my shirt. So I'm thinking maybe I'm tired, I had a long day, so let me try and put my trousers on my pants, right? Do that, got my pants on successfully. So I try to put my shoes on, and I had lace-up shoes, dress shoes. And my hands would not work to tie my shoes. Like, something's not right. Let me put my shirt back on again. So I tried to put my shirt on, and the coordination of my fingers just would not act right. And so I called a great friend of ours, his name is Deacon Isidore James, and I had him come by the house. He didn't live too far away. It's like, Deke, I need your help, something's not right. So he gets to the house, and I have my shoes on, but I can't tie them still. So I say, watch me try and tie my shoes. So he watches me, and the coordination is still not there, just for me to do a simple task like tying my shoes. And so he immediately took me to the emergency room at Memorial Hermann. And upon getting there, I described my symptoms to them. and they take me immediately to the back to do a CT scan, MRI, all that good stuff, and they find out I have a fistula. Fistula meaning that there is an artery in my brain that's leaking ever so slightly, but's causing this lack of coordination, right? That could possibly be something more severe. So at that moment, I'm in the hospital now, right? So I get released from the hospital, and they tell me that I have to see a neurologist for a possible or for a follow-up. And from there, I see the the neurosurgeon rather, not neurologist, a neurosurgeon, and it was in the beginning of November. He sees all the information. He says, I have some good news, I have some bad news. So I go, what's the bad news, Doc? He says, you're going to have surgery to repair the artery that's been bleeding in your brain. I said, what's the good news? I said, what's the good news? He says, it's in the spot that I can get to, and I'm pretty confident that all will be well should you consent to having the surgery. So I'm going to go through all of that, and obviously I'm sitting here talking to you, and the surgery went very, very well. But obviously it was very scary, a trying time. So I would like to encourage everyone looking at this video at this moment, especially us who serve in ministry, that you must take the time to take care of yourselves. Sometimes things happen that are beyond your control, but the things that we can control, like our diet, our blood pressure, things of that nature, please, please, please get your exams, get your wellness checks, and make sure you're taking care of yourself to the best of your ability, because the best ability that you have for ministry is your availability. So in this journey of music ministry, of course, it comes with a lot of responsibility, and that responsibility carries a lot of weight. So if you're looking at this and you're currently serving as a minister of music, or you desire to be a music ministry or a music leader on whatever level, the best thing I can tell you is, first and foremost, you have to remember that this is the Lord's work. That's first and foremost. The second thing is that the pastor that you serve under is the leader, and that person, he or she, should be the chief worship leader and is able to give the vision to those of us who are in position of music ministry leadership or aspiring to be. You have to keep those two things in mind. Once you understand that the work of ministry is the Lord's work, and two, that you're going to be submitted to the leadership of the person who's responsible for in senior leadership as a pastor, then I would encourage everyone to pray that the Lord would give you a vision of how to lead the music ministry, such that, number one, is pleasing to the Lord, two, is supportive of the pastor's vision, and three, you're able to lead the people in various, whether it's a choir or dancers, whatever the case may be, into a level of excellence and preparedness that will bring glory to God and edify His people, so that when the presentations are made, again, whether it's singing, instrumental, or dance, or whatever, visual arts, theater arts, whatever the particular genre may be, it is presented with excellence. And plan, but prepare, and pray. I know it sounds simple, but when you get into it, it's really easier said than done. When you're a leader, you have to deal with people and their personalities and all those kind of things. You have to take the low road. You're not always going to be right. You have to be willing to listen to advice of the people who serve under you. So being a listener is very important. And also pray for, I would say, discernment, because everybody that's around you don't always mean well, and you can't always call them out for it. But even the Bible calls us to pray for those in various situations that mean us well, and some that may not mean us well from time to time. But again, our responsibility is to ensure that we're leading people in the proper way, so that God can get the glory for it.